And I'm going to rotate this time. And you can rotate it any kind of angle or degree that you want, but if you shift it, it'll go to the more basic degrees. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to put my lotus right there. This layer, I'm going to duplicate. Then I'm going to drag it over here. And I'm going to go ahead and do edit, transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. And there you have your mirrored lotuses. Eventually, we will duplicate this image in and of itself, and it will start to look like this. But until then, we're going to work on these baby steps. Okay, now we're going to work on our lily. I put my lilies up here. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer and drag it over here. Edit, transform, rotate. Again, I'm probably going to hit shift and rotate it and put it here. I try to make sure that my images are aligned. Something that I realized while I was editing these flowers is that this petal is dark, whereas this one's light. So I went ahead, click enter, and I did edit, transform, and I think I flipped it vertically. Nope, yeah, I flipped it horizontally. Go ahead and edit, transform, and rotate it again. That way it'll mirror it more cohesively. And now they're right next to each other. So hit enter. I put the Buddha in front of the lily flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and move him up here so that he's up in the front. So now I have my lotuses and I have my lilies. Oops. I always do that. Make sure you click on the layer that you want to move. Now I'm going to do my Jesuses. I'm going to go ahead and edit. And I'm going to make him a little bigger. So I'm going to do shift, move up, enter. Then I'm going to edit, transform once again. And I'm going to rotate. I'm going to do shift, rotate, enter. I'm going to put him right about here. He can kind of go off the edge, but I want him to stay around here. Once that's done, I'm going to go to layer 6, which is my Jesus layer. And I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to move that over here. Now we have 2 Jesuses. I'm going to hit edit, transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. Yay! And then I just try to align them to where they meet up at the same level. And I try to use this area right here as a way to determine what the middle is. So I have my lilies, my lotus, my background here, and my Jesuses. Okay? Now we can start to kind of mess around with the other images. So in this part's, I think this part's really fun. So I'm going to click my lilies. I'm going to hit this. Says normal, but we don't want normal for this part. We're going to do linear burn for these flowers. So come to this one, linear burn. And they're kind of dark for right now, but we'll kind of see in a little bit how they work. Then I'm going to click my Jesuses. And I'm going to click screen. Click my other Jesus. scroll down to screen. And that's that for now. So we did our lilies, we did our Jesuses. Now I'm going to work on the middle ground, which is layer 7. So if I click that one, this one's layer 7. We're going to go to filter now. And for filter, we'll go to pixelate. And then we'll do crystallize. And it shows you what level of crystallization you want for your image. I think it looks pretty cool like this, and it looks like stained glass. So that's kind of what it looks like. If you see it and you think, well, I wish it was a little smaller, you can go back to pixelate, crystallize, and you can drag it down, make it a little smaller. But it just depends. So that's what we're going to do for the middle ground. Another cool effect that I did for the Buddha is, let's see. Yep, for this one, I did filter, I did distort, and I went to ripple. And then you can change how much it ripples. So I'm just going to change it a little bit and hit OK. And I like that effect because it kind of looked like he was looking at his reflection in the water with the ripple effect. So we have that. And let's see what else. Let me go back to my original to double check. Some other stuff has been edited during this process. So I have my lilies, our lotuses, our Buddhas, our backgrounds, and our Jesuses, and our stupid gate. Now at the very end, I'm going to click hue and saturation. I'm going to push the saturation all the way to 100. Just get crazy. Okay?